Weekend is just around the corner, and I know you are anticipating the weekend just as much as I am. It is a beautiful brand new day, and we give glory to God for yet another day, the gift of life. Good morning and welcome to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. I am your host, Yaira Awuno. We're coming to you live from the studios of Clog TV. You can also catch us on GoTV channel 184. And don't forget, we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. So you can just find us on any of our social medias or Facebook, YouTube. Just look for Clog TV and then join in the conversation there on our live stream. You can send in your comments, your shout outs, your suggestions, your questions to our Facebook and YouTube live stream. And then, of course, on our WhatsApp number displayed on your screens. Here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, we bring to you the most informative, educative, and entertaining segments like business, lifestyle, entertainment, sports, in-depth discussions, motivational quotes to give you a well-rounded experience and set the tone for your day. Next is the motivational quote of the day with Miss Bevelyn Anobil, and she is going to make us be inspired for the weekend.
Good morning to you, our cherished viewers. I am Honorable Beverly Ejabia, and this is Motivational Quote right here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. Now let's get right into our quotes for today. Our quote says that never feel guilty for setting boundaries that protect your peace. Never feel guilty for setting boundaries that protect your peace. Now this is from R.H. Sin, and this quote is really telling us something this morning that at times we take too much that sometimes we tend to burn out because of what we have been taking. And so this morning, I want to tell you that you have to set boundaries. As humans, you have to have that kind of things that we claim acceptable, and things that we don't like. We have to actually build that kind of boundaries around us so that we can be able to move in society. That's all I have for you today on Motivational Quotes. Stay tuned and do enjoy the rest of the show.
Wow, that was a beautiful quote. Thank you so much, Ms. Bevelyn. And I'm sure as you go through your day, you'll remember to not be ashamed of any of the boundaries you set to protect your peace. Now, later on in this morning's Cocoa Digest Morning Show, we will be having very, very beautiful discussions. Lifestyle will be taking us through overcoming adversity and building resilience in times of adversity. And then also this segment, Mr. Clement will be taking us, he has an interview with one of his guests who will be talking about the 88 million cedis lost to fraudulent withdrawals in the banking sector. And then, of course, on the main discussion, we will be discussing polycystic ovarian syndrome, as this month is Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome Awareness Month. So do stay tuned and make sure to call a friend, text a friend, a brother, sister, loved one to join in the conversation and learn something today. Up next, we have the online news review with two of my co-hosts in the persons of Clement Yabankwe and Edna Boateng. We will be right back.
Clog TV. Beyond the policy.
This program is powered by Clog TV. Beyond the Policy.
Clog TV. Beyond the policy.
You're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. We're coming to you live on Facebook and on YouTube, and of course from our studios of Clog TV. Please do send in your comments and your shout-outs and your suggestions to our WhatsApp number displayed on your screens, and of course onto our live stream on Facebook or YouTube. It is time for our news review with two of my co-hosts in the persons of Clement Yabankwe and Edna Boateng. Hello, my lady and gentlemen.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
By grace.
Fine.
The weekend is just around the corner. How are we feeling? I mean, the way the week has been.
You know, when it's weekend, I'm in my good mood because work stops when it's weekend.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
I can tell.
But when it's weekends, work begins for others.
Well,
Exactly.
I mean, for us, we are
So
going
for
to
her,
rest.
it stops. For me, it begins.
But some way, somehow, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because even on weekends, we are still working.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
true.
You can get an emergency call. Where are you? Please come and take this. And then you'll be like, oh, God, I thought it's weekend for everyone.
Yeah.
Why isn't it weekend for me?
Wow, that's nice. But at least we get to rest a little.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so you get to rest a little.
yeah, a little.
Yes, you get to rest a little.
Why you're not resting at all?
Emphasis on you.
Exactly.
We need it. It's important. Anyway, so my trending news officers, what's trending? News review. Any news out there?
So, Yara, today there is one funny but not funny news.
Okay.
Let's pick it from that angle. We all heard of the National Cathedral some years ago.
Yeah.
And currently, someone will say the state of the National Cathedral. I think producer will get us the state of National Cathedral as we speak on the screen, so that we just watch it. The state of the National Cathedral.
Wow.
So now the National Cathedral has turned into an international swimming pool.
Hey,
where
people
you can
have
see,
access to the place?
Oh yes, and they are swimming.
Oh
It's
my goodness.
I think
now
they
an
broke down
international
the-
swimming pool.
They broke down the barriers.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So people are now swimming. So that's the state of National Cathedral, a project where billions of money has been invested.
Yes.
And now there's nothing to show
Go
off.
for it. Yes.
So this is something that I think everybody need to talk about. That we need to seek for. I believe in this accountability, because if billions of money have been invested in such a project and there's nothing to show off, all what we can see now on the screen is people are swimming.
It has become a recreational facility.
And there was one statement made by the minority leader that it is now an international swimming pool. I wonder whether other countries come here to swim.
I mean, whoever
just
is
by the way.
responsible for it should be accountable.
Exactly.
Because seeing this is an eyesore.
Yeah, and it is our president that is mainly responsible for this.
National Cathedral.
So, are we even allowed to request some form of audit as to all the monies that have been invested into this swimming pool as it stands?
Oh, we are allowed, and I believe that people are going to do that. And I know already people have started requesting for accountability of such projects.
Okay.
So, Raira, let's leave it here. I know we'll get more into this. And let's go to another trend for the day.
Yeah, okay. So, Edna, do you have
Alright.
anything trending?
Yes, I have with me, do you remember TGMA this year?
Oh, yes.
Yes, so we had two competitors. Above all, they were about 5 or 6, but then we
Okay.
had two that everyone was thinking one may win.
Okay.
And then Stonebwoy won.
Okay.
So King Promise, in as much as me, I wanted King Promise to win. Hello. Yes, so Stonebwoy win, which is also very good. But then I learned King Promise congratulated Stonebwoy and Stonebwoy ignored. We can't really tell if he ignored, because you know these artists, they get a lot of congratulatory messages whereby some of them they even do not see. But then it is creating a lot of controversy, the fact that King Promise was competing with Stonebwoy. So definitely if Stonebwoy won, he would congratulate him. But then, and also what I am really setting off is that Stonebwoy didn't want any issue with King Promise. And as much as they have some songs together, he gets me, yes. And King Promise is saying he's onboarded about it. And it's very true too, because I have congratulated you, at least I've done my part. Clement, what do you say about it?
That's it. So, and you see, Yaira, before you come in, I like the storyline of Edna. No wonder she's the host for Old School Vibes.
Yes.
So for her, she knows music and
it's everything about entertainment.
Exactly.
I couldn't have come here without giving you a tip of
you
what
get
I
the
could
issue.
use.
So when she brought up entertainment, I was like, okay, well, I understand her.
She's in here.
Exactly. You see how she's really flowing. Yes, perfect.
So is it that there's an issue between them, or it is just one of those random things? Because I'm sure if all of us as colleagues here, Clement wins and then I congratulate him, maybe best host of the year, and I congratulate him and doesn't respond, hey, me, I'll fight you. Because I'm taking time out to congratulate you, at least, because we are both industry players. Even if you've gotten so many messages, there are certain names that strike out that you pick up and respond to, even if you ignore others. So is there an underlying issue, entertainment lady?
So I think both parties have their own reasons. And then I feel like in as much as King Promise congratulated Stonebwoy on social media, maybe he had done it at the back door, you understand me? But then Stonebwoy was a bit harsh with his
ignoring it. Well, maybe too, it is just to give the public something to talk about. Maybe they have a song coming up, so you know, when we are talking about them and things. Okay, so we have a comment. Oh, okay, a few too. So this one says, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's been a while. Nowadays, your Facebook streaming is facing challenges, so I'm not active, but today I'm here live. I miss you guys, Rolf. This is from Obiba Wilson. We have missed you too. Oh, Obiba, our most faithful commenter. And he's also here again. He says, good morning. It's been a while. Yes, it's been a while. We are so glad to have you back in our comment session. Thank you so much for your comments. Okay, so let's get quickly into it. I know you guys now, Mosemuko digital, you don't have newspapers in your hands anymore. It's on your phones, right?
Exactly.
So, yes, Clement, what do you have for us?
So, Yaira, I have with me the graphic business.
Okay.
And the front page, he said CocoBoard shift strategy.
Okay.
There is a shift in CocoBoard strategy, and it's all about prioritizing sports sales for new season. So when viewers get the graphic business, that's of the Tuesday's edition, they can see on the front page that CocoBoard has shift strategy, of which, let me just read the first paragraph. He said, in an unprecedented move, the Ghana CocoBoard plans to prioritize sports sales over forward contracts for the new cocoa season. This strategic shift aims to take advantage of potential price surges in the international cocoa market following a missed opportunity last season when price sold to 12,000 United States dollar per ton. And because of that, CocoBoard is taking this kind of strategy. And Yaira, we will bring viewers more of this story at the business time and also moving forward. So viewers will stay tuned.
So is this in any way related to the self-financing thing?
Not really. They are looking at the opportunity available in the market, because as a business entity, you should always look out for opportunity in as much as there are challenges. So they realized that last year they lost some amount of money from such an opportunity. So this year they are going to make sure that that opportunity they grab it. That is all what they are going to do.
So we have we have another comment here. This one is from Godfred Edem. He says, this one, the National Cathedral Resort. And Rose Entertainment also says, good morning to you all. You are all beautiful this morning. Thank you, Rose Entertainment. And he says, this National Cathedral issue, the less said, the better. So thank you so much for your comments. Please keep them coming in. Okay, Obiba is asking where Mimi is. Please, your girlfriend is fine. She had an emergency to attend to, but she'll be back on your screens on Tuesday morning. She's very okay.
Bayara, why will Obiba? Okay.
Obiba says, please, where is Mimi? Is she okay? Hey, he's concerned. Allow. So yes, Edna, what do you also have for us?
So mine is about the Daily Graphic, and it
Okay.
says Minerals Commission opens new office at BBNE. So it says the Minerals Commission has opened a new office complex at BBNE as part of ongoing efforts to decentralize the services of the mining and minerals regulator. The office will provide a more congenial ambience for the officers and staff of the commission in the region, a departure from the rented chamber and hall office space they had occupied for more than 30 years. Wow.
Oh, wow. They were
Chamber and hall office.
Honestly, we need to look at the priorities of our nation, because Minerals Commission has been in a chamber and hall for 30 years.
30 good years.
30 years. Are they, like, all the revenue being generated, and it took 30 years to relocate to a better facility. Imagine the conditions of service there then.
Yeah. So thanks to the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources for doing that initiative, because as it said, he's bringing in more good technological structures and machinery, and it will help with the work. And I think that's because he did it in BBNE. That's where a lot of mining things goes on.
That's true.
That's even where if that is where a lot of mining goes on. What the revenue generated from the mining
could have been used.
How come it wasn't channeled into getting a better facility?
So coming into that, I think yes, they could have done this years ago. But maybe they were equally doing one or two things. Maybe at the national
they were putting
headquarters
in place
at the headquarters. And we wouldn't say they've not done well. They've really done well.
Oh, yes,
and
they have.
I must say that newly constructed office at BBNE would really help, because we all know that when you go to the western region and western north, that is where most of our gold and the resources are coming from. So if such place is having a good office to serve the people over there, we wouldn't have a lot of minerals issue coming to Accra or the other regional capitals. They'll be able to handle it, as she rightly said. They are going to decentralize the game, and everybody will be able to play its role. And this is going to fast track so many things that we are talking about. With the issue of, for example, this illegal mining coming in, this office is going to help them.
Because they have ultra-modern equipment.
Yes, so they are going to also educate the miners on how they should do their things, because now they have the equipment. They have all what they need, even to go to the site, to inspect their lease agreement and all these kind of things. So I think it's a good news. That's we are going to.
It is good news though, but for it to take 30 years, then it means that the quality of work there for 30 years was probably substandard. If we look at it, because you are working in an environment and it's just the chamber and hall, documentation of files, the employees, where are they even?
Because the welfare of the workers is very essential. Looking at it from this side, chamber and hall didn't help.
Which place is the reception? Which place is the document room? Where's the HR? Where's the, those small departments and things like that to handle the organization? How was it working out there?
I wish I could see the building.
Exactly. And we are not preview to how things were being done there. So we can't really talk much about that. What we can say is it's a good news for the people of Ghana.
Course.
And it's going to create more employment, because if Chamber of Hall, assuming they were employing about 10 people, now ultra-modern facility where new people are going to be there. So thumbs up to the Ministry of
and it would even probably open space for employment.
Exactly.
So employing more people. Maybe they didn't even have the HR I was asking for. So they can come and call me out. I'll do.
Oh, madam, you want to run away and leave us?
So we also have more comments here. This is from Miss Eunice Owusu, and she says the National Cathedral is now a national swimming pool. And then a Goodyear Film Production also says good morning to you too. Thank you so much for sending in your comments. We want more. Send them. So I also have here online news, but before that, do you guys have any extra stories on your graphic? Okay,
but I think I can chip in a little something. We all know about the loss of our brother, our gospel musician, Koda.
Yes.
Yeah, so recently I got to know that he was a very good friend of Joe Metal, and then he says he's very pained about the passing of his brother, but then all he can say is that may his soul rest in perfect peace. They'll be burying him on 20th September, this Friday.
Okay.
Then, yeah, that's his last respect.
Wow. May his soul rest in peace. Koda was very instrumental in the gospel music industry. I remember that song.
No, the takra the kasa na befum kakra.
Unipa.
Yes. Oh, Koda. Thank you for all you've done for us in the music industry. We have one more comment. This is from HM Joe. He says, Club TV, your station does have gorgeous ladies. It is nice watching you people. HM Joe,
we have a lot in store for them.
Yes.
So they should keep watching.
Yes.
Back to back.
We heard it from Clement. So I also have here, my first story says, VRA senior staff protest proposed merger with Bui Power Authority. And this one is about, it says the VRA senior staff and union members protested a proposed merger with Bui Power Authority, fearing that it would harm VRA operations. They are also concerned about a draft bill consolidating Electricity Company of Ghana with Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, and creating a separate thermal power authority. Theophilus Tete Ahia, VRA Senior Staff Association Chairman, urged the bill's withdrawal, citing viability concerns. So there were some allegations even that it may be a ploy to sell off these
assets of VRA.
Yes, of the nation. So in a way, I think that these authorities being separate, it prevents monopolizing of power. Because if all these are put under one and then it has one chairman, imagine how much money would be embezzled or how much power that person will hold. And even to the point where I think, considering at a point, we had our energy minister tell us to draft our own timetable for do so. Imagine what maybe the head of maybe like all these consolidated power authorities put together can say to us if we are complaining about one or two things. So them being separated and then working in their own ways, there could also be some accountability. If Bui Power Authority has taken up certain strategies that would benefit them and it's moving them forward, maybe VRA could also look at that and then emulate them, something like that. So I think I do agree with them, and they're also saying it may lead to some sort of privatization and then sale and things. So it's
So let me say a little bit. I'll talk from two angles. But let me
from one and let me talk from one.
Oh, the angles, there are many.
Okay, so let me talk from this angle. VRA has been in operation for the past 53 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we all know what VRA has done for the people of Ghana. For Bui Power, they started operating somewhere 2013. Yes, I think getting to somewhere 2013, that's they started their operations. And they've also supported when it comes to the power energy sector, they've done very well. And according to the chair of the Bui Power, or the chairman of Bui Power, he is they set a committee who are drafting such agreements, who are looking into such documents to make sure that the bill actually gets through Parliament and currently it's in Parliament. And after some number of days, as we all know, it's passed into law and becomes binding. So I think he said that a lot of concern has been raised that VRA and Bui should have one management, including the ECG and the NEDCO, because like Bui has its own management, VRA has its own management, ECG has its own management. He believes that all these management should put together. That is concern that people were raising, that they should merge it. That is why the government also took such initiative that, oh, why not we merge all these 4 organizations together to have big umbrella to
cater for
all.
Yeah.
And according to the AFC, that is the African, I think, Sustainability Center, they deals in energy. They have raised a lot of concern. And one of their major concern, as you talked about, is the fact that when this thing comes together, when they all come together, they are going to control the energy sector in Ghana. If care is not taken, the prices of electricity in Ghana is going to stage very high because nobody is there to talk about it. As we said, VRA was handling a particular part. ECG will handle parts, NEDCO will handle parts, and we will handle parts. But this time around, they are all under one umbrella. And what happens like that, when they say go, we can't say yes, everyone is going. So from their point of view, it is not a good thing for the government to do. They set an example that when you go to Brazil, in the year 2003, they did the same thing and they had a lot of issues. They also talked of another African country, I've really forgotten. They also did the same thing by putting all their thermal organizations together to form one. And they also had a lot of issues moving forward to an extent that electricity cost was very high. So from them, they are of the point that no, it is wrong. They should let them work independently so that we will still enjoy that kind of environment where electricity prices is not high. Because they believe that when this thermal plant becomes one, it's going to be private, like it's given to a private individual to handle. It's going to.
Okay, I also think that in replacement of the merger, we can rather have key stakeholders in each of the organizations come together to form a board. So if We Power, there's an issue, they can just consult with their counterparts in maybe VRA and ECG or NEDCO.
Because
rather than
where VRA has gotten to, I think because of all their profits and everything, it will be very difficult for them to merge with We Power and then the other electricity companies. And then I feel like whatever be the case, there will be an advantage and then a disadvantage. So they should just... and
if, as Clement has said about Brazil and then the other country, if we've seen it happen, that it's brought issues to people, then, I mean, we need to take it, we need to look at it very carefully before implementing something like that.
That is what they are calling for, that the documents need to be reviewed very well before it's passed. Because if care is not taken, we would be under an institution where we wouldn't know the in and out of that very institution.
A lot of risk.
Yes, a lot of risks involved. So I think that is why VRA, they are really objecting that they should, that bill in Parliament, they should withdraw it as soon as possible.
And then if, like I was saying, if they form a board, they can have a member of, let's say, even the VRA, where is it? Yes, the Senior Staff Association, maybe a few, maybe 2 members, the Junior Staff Association members, you know, management of the VRA members from there. So we have people representing like all the key departments in the institution coming to the board. So if it's even just 2 each, you know, senior staff, junior staff, management, this, that, and then they all come together to form the board, then I think that the merger will not be needed, because like we said, this merger would probably lead to the sale thing, because that's one of their allegations. And then also the monopolization of power, one person heading all of that. That's too much power.
It's too much.
One aspect of this story is where the committee sits, who were looking into documentation before it was sent to Parliament. We have key people from all these institutions. The chief director for We Power was part of the committee. I also know that you get a rep from VRA, a rep from ECG, and a rep from NEDCO. So all these things, I think they should also re-looked into it, as people are also agitating for it. Because we don't want a situation that after merging them together and we are facing issues in Ghana, electricity prices going high. Already the cost of living in Ghana is very, very high. And all these things adding up to is going to really affect us. And so, as Edna said, VRA for them, they believe that they've been having profits over the years. So they don't see the need for them to really merge with any other institution.
And even,
but, okay, you know that IEC, that's the Institution for Energy, they are saying that before government will take any action, ECG owes a lot. So government should make sure that that cost that ECG owes, their money, they've cleared all. That's their argument. If it's not cleared, then they shouldn't think of merging all these things together.
And then also, it even stands a risk of all of them being merged together, right? Then there's a power issue. Then we'll come and hear that it is the ECG faction that is causing the problem, or it is there will be some sort of blame game going on, because something like NEDCO has been operating peacefully for some time, and they are mainly in the north. They are not. You come to add Accra's wahala to NEDCO, we beg, but we just hope for the best, and then if our leaders are truly listening to us or listening to the citizens, then they will do something about it.
But I think we would get, moving forward, one of the VRA, for that they would speak extensively into this issue for us to know why they are taking such a decision. Because people think it's a good thing, but why they are saying that it's not a good thing. I think moving forward, we will do that on Cocoa Digest. So viewers should stay tuned as we bring them such stories.
So we have a few more comments. Hey, more. So this one says, so D&J Ventures says, this your new co-host is really giving. Wow. Hey, madam. Hey, you have fun. So. Obiba again. He says, please tell Edna I see her. Mimi is your girlfriend. Be faithful. I greet Clement to you, Ojo. So, and now we have a comment here. It says, bonjour. Hey. We've gone international.
Bonjour, bonjour.
I'm enjoying your TV station with smart and beautiful ladies. Edna, your boy is beautiful. Oh. I wish you all well. My name is Nasser Ati. Thank you so much for your comment. You, this young lady. I think you fun.
Edna, the Obano or your Bibiana.
Yeah, apply some special cream on my face.
Okay. And we have one more comment. Something related. So Rose Entertainment says, this country, you will be shocked. Oh, Rose Entertainment. Thank you so much for your comment. So the next story here says, Lands Minister terminates FGR Bogoso Prestia Mining Limited leases. So Ghana's government has revoked the FGR Bogoso Prestia Mining Limited's licenses effective immediately. Minister Samuel Abu-Jinapor announced the decision on September 18, 2024, citing recommendations from the Minerals Commission and Attorney General. FGR was cautioned in August 2023 about some breaches pertaining to its mining operations and advised by the Minerals Commission to have them remedied. The statement indicated that the decision to terminate the mining leases was taken after reviewing various reports from the Minerals Commission as well as the Ministerial Committee constituted to review the operations of the company, and after extensive engagement with all stakeholders involved in this matter. The decision comes after a series of protests and concerns raised by various stakeholders, including the Ghana Mines Workers Union. Considering this Galamsey issue, and then a mining company too is having some sort of discrepancies going on too, and they've been asked to remedy the issue, and it seems like nothing was happening. And now the minister has taken such drastic action. On one hand, it serves as a deterrence to the others that if you know you're not operating, in the right parameters, you can. But then also the lease that has been terminated, the employment of all the people there, is there any solution coming up for them? Because it's definitely a source of livelihood for some people.
Yeah.
So when these actions are taken, are there any solutions that are also being put in place after? That's my question.
So, Yara, I think when you follow the background of this story, it didn't start today.
Okay.
It started way back 2021.
Oh,
and
okay.
As early as this year, in the month of April 2024, the Association for Miners, Ghana Miners Workers Union, they protested at the enclave of the ministry, specifically Minerals Commission. And the whole idea was that they should terminate the lease agreement of FGR, that is Future Global Resources. Okay. They are the company that is handling the mining sector of Prestia Bogoso. Why are they saying that? They are saying that because to them, they know that Future Global Resources, and they are not having a financial capacity to manage the affairs of Bogoso Prestia Mining. So they have to terminate the lease agreement. When the notice got to Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, they didn't just wake up one day and say they've terminated the lease agreement.
They went through the right.
They went through the right process. They set up a ministerial committee that were working on this very process to an extent that the Attorney General also have to come in with his own way after his findings, because they tasked the Minerals Commission to actually do a lot of findings on this report. If people would remember, way back last year, the chief of the people of Bogoso Prestia area, they gathered a demonstration. Why were they doing it? They realized that the FGR is not helping the Bogoso community. They were not doing what we call the social responsibility for the community. They were not doing it. They realized that they are not able to pay workers. They are not able to invest much into the company for the community to also get benefit out of it. At a meeting with the FGR, they had a discussion, and FGR orally made a promise to the chiefs that, moving forward, they are going to invest more into the company for the people around to get job done, and their community will be developed. Orally, after the oral conversation, nothing was done. Since 2023, when you read the story, they will tell you since 2021, nothing was done about it. So the chief were very angry. So the chief presented a petition to the Ministry of Land. That was last year. Even before the Ghana Mines Workers Union did their demonstration in the month of April. And we all know, I think yesterday, there was another demonstration at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. All because of this very issue. So it was out of that demonstration, that is when the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources came out with this report that indeed they've terminated the lease agreement of FGR, who are supposed to work at Bogoso Prestia Mining. But there's an interesting story that FGR also said no, they are not going to accept such termination because they are saying that they've not gotten any official document that shows that they have terminated their lease, and also they are going to challenge at the court. They're going to challenge the Minerals Commission at the court because according to them, what they have is valid. And in their statement, they told their workers that for us, since we've not received anything, our lease agreement is still valid. And until court rules that, yes, we have lost that agreement, we will still operate.
So I'm looking from the point of where Clement made mention that these FGR Bogoso people, they're not paying their workers.
Yes.
And then they're not doing any community work to help the society.
Exactly.
And it's so sad because how can you work for so many years without being paid and you're still there? You get me?
Sure.
It's very sad.
Sure.
And even what is coming off as a surprise for me is even the fact that the minister is the one that has decided your lease contract has been terminated. And for some reason, you have the audacity to say no, according to you, because you have not received. So it even begs the question that what has this company seen, or what have they been given to give them that? Because you are probably a private institution. It is a private institution, somebody's business. And you have the gall to say such.
Let's see what unfolds in the next days to see what, because now it's the minister who gave you the licenses. Now they said they've revoked it, or the lease, and they say now it's over. And we are still going to the court. Here's the case that the Attorney General is who advised the minister to take such a decision.
But then
according to the Constitution.
Initially, were they financially stable?
Since they started operation way back 2021, according to the chief's report, they said they are not financially stable. And per the claims from the chief, they said they've not been paying SNET for the past 30 months.
Look at this.
Per the claim from the chief, so for the past 30 months, they've not been paying SNET of workers. And even Tier 2 have not been paid per the claims from the chief and their protest.
Even here in the story, they said they were cautioned in August 2023 about some breaches. So there are definitely breaches pertaining to its mining operations. So already, even in the mining operations they embark on or undertake, there are breaches there, and they still have the gall or audacity to say they will contest this in court.
It's normal for you to see people do that, because if me sitting here, if you tell me that you've sacked me, automatically I'll make some noise.
Bring in
no, but if you know very well that maybe you've been queried once or twice, and maybe this is the third one, you know very well that you have not been a very good employee, and now you hear that you've been sacked. Of course, what else can you say? But you people, it's been clearly stated that there were breaches, and you are still going to contest. So what are you standing on to go and contest?
We hope to see what they will stand on. That's what we hope for.
Well, like we here on the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, we are always hopeful for the best. So we remain hopeful. And the last story here says polio type 2 detected in Koforidua, public health emergency declared. Hey, polio by this time. Okay, so the Ministry of Health, this story is a bit long, but the Ministry of Health has announced the detection of a circulating vaccine-derived polio virus type 2 in an environmental sample collected in the Eastern Regional Capital, which is Koforidua. The discovery was made during the routine surveillance activities conducted by the polio laboratory of the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research. In a press release issued by the Minister of Health, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, he confirmed that the polio virus was identified in a sample collected on August 20, with the confirmation of the virus as CVDPV2 being received on September 5. Dr. Okoboy described the detection as a public health emergency and stressed the need for swift action to prevent the virus from spreading. To address the situation, Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the Ghana Health Service, has launched field investigations to trace the possible source of the infection and assess the risk of further geographical spread, including to humans. Enhanced surveillance measures have been put in place to monitor the situation closely. So, polio is seemingly back in Ghana. And honestly, I think I would attribute this to the COVID era. Where all kinds of news, information, misinformation, disinformation about vaccines came out, that don't take the COVID virus, it is 666, those kinds of things. And it has, our social media, we have so much information out there. You can't even tell which one is factual and which one isn't. And all these issues about vaccine has done this, vaccine has done that. I'm sure a lot of people now have decided not to vaccinate their kids.
They're afraid.
But if you look at the history of polio and what it did to people, and even if you even look at what vaccines are, it shouldn't be such a big deal, or it should even be a necessity, because even kids are vaccinated when they are born. This is to increase your life expectancy. Else, if vaccines were not introduced in our daily lives, in our lives here as humans, the world population would have been less. We would have died by natural selection even. Because for the babies, they are vaccinated against the 6 killer childhood diseases. And this is what extends your child's life. Now, polio can become so terrible that you lose use of your limbs, your muscles, and things like that. And now, because of misinformation, disinformation, a lot of people were very skeptical about vaccinations. And even, I think even to an extent, some of the pharmaceutical companies may have played a role in it. I don't know if it's the competition among them. But now, for something like polio that had basically been eradicated, to return, then it is very alarming. And I like the fact that the Minister of Health declared it an emergency situation, because diseases like polio should not be back here.
Yaira, I somehow want to advise our mothers, like, whichever way it is, polio is polio. And then me, when I was a kid, I'm sure I was vaccinated. Otherwise, I would have been crawling on the floor and something. So I think that mothers should complete the vaccination schedules for their kids to prevent any future problems. You
Sure,
get me?
sure.
Yeah, and it will be helpful.
And I also think the health institutions should take on rigorous information and education on these things, because a lot of international information has come against vaccination. Because, I mean, the people in the West, a lot of them say they are not vaccinated. And they come up, even in the movie, sometimes you see somebody who was not vaccinated, very ill with some disease that shouldn't even have been a problem.
But I think that now too, most of our mothers are resorting to the herbal medicines. They think it can help cure
Our
polio.
ancestors, most of them didn't survive
Exactly.
on that. So if advancement has come and this knowledge has come, then let us educate people properly. Because the little I know about even vaccines is that something about the virus, a part of the virus is taken up and then introduced into the body for your body to produce antibodies against it. And then the vaccine is derived. So it is basically helping you to fight it in a way, so it is not fatal to you. That's a little understanding I have of it.
Yeah.
And if our health institutions take on, these educational programs and things like, because I remember they used to have pamphlets and things educating people on
So when
these
you go
things.
to the clinic as a pregnant woman, I think the nurses and then the doctors should educate you.
Yeah, and then
very
ask
well.
questions.
It is not harmful. I don't know why people do not want to take the vaccine.
Sure, I don't know why. I don't know why too. But what I can say is, polio is something that we shouldn't joke with.
Exactly.
We shouldn't joke with, and it can cause more harm than what we think.
Yeah.
And our mothers should please take good care of our young ones. When per the CDC recommend 4 doses for inactivated polio virus vaccine, it says that at the age of 2 months, at least, you should be able to take polio vaccine. They are also saying that within the 4 months and 6 months, and within 6 months and 8 months too, a child should be vaccinated
Yeah.
of polio.
Day in, day
And
out,
you
you
see,
see nurses going round
they're going
they
around.
used to-
even in
Yes.
classrooms.
Yes.
in classrooms,
I remember
they
in
used to do all
SHS
these
they came
things.
to give us, was it yellow fever or something? And then this yellow
there's
card
the
given to
fatty
us.
acids
Yes.
and
But
stuff.
Yara, I don't know. Can polio be spread?
Yes.
Yes. So I was thinking about this then, because if now Koforidia has recorded this number of polio issues, and we know polio can be spread, then the question is, what action are we supposed to take immediately?
Yes, so I think
The
they're
health
tracing-
institution,
Yeah,
they are
they say they are
tracing
tracing
it.
it.
Because through coughing, someone can get it. Through droplets of
Touching.
all these things someone can get. So I think they should take action, immediate action as soon as possible, so that the other people who are not infected will not get infected of this polio thing we are talking about.
But I also again want to reiterate that we need to get our institutions to educate people again on vaccination because of the information that has come, especially because of COVID. Fine, there was this whole, yes, when you get the COVID vaccine, you get a fever for some days and things. And honestly, the human body, when something foreign is introduced into it, it will react. It is natural.
Yeah.
If we have, health professionals educate people from the grassroots all the way to even the top, educate people properly on these things, then people can start trusting vaccinations again. Because look, a lot of information travels. If you post something very silly right now, it can go viral. We need to actually even take advantage of that and then teach people again, because the propaganda or misinformation or disinformation against vaccination is a lot. It is really, really bad.
Yeah, so that is why I really resonate with these fire service people. They come to our churches,
Yes.
schools to educate us. So the nurses should just try and come to the classrooms. Whatever the kids hear, they go home and then they tell their parents, Mommy, today there was a
You
nurse
said
that
this,
was
yes.
telling this and this. You can give them a pamphlet for their parents to read.
That's
And
very
even
true.
take
But-
advantage of social media. We have a
Exactly.
few doctors who create these trending
Some
videos.
vlogs
Yes.
Kyra, you see, that is why when you come to Clock TV Cocoa Digest, we take a different form of all the morning shows you see out there.
Yeah.
The morning shows you see out there would tackle some certain things on the main segment, but we don't do that. We look at what is really affecting life. We look at the health issues, and that you could see viewers can attest can bear witness that that's what we do. And today we have a health practitioner on the show, and I believe she can even touch a little bit on this polio issue.
Exactly.
So all what we want to say is yes, the public need education, but Cocoa Digest Clock TV is there to educate the public. So the public have nowhere to go. Forget
Stay
about the social
glued.
media. Stay glued to Clock TV.
Exactly.
This is where we get the best information.
Oh, yeah.
You give us old school vibes. She'll give us best things on the morning show.
And express updates.
It's part to part for viewers. So that is all we will tell viewers, that stay glued. Always, because we give you up information at the morning show.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Thank you, Clement. So we have a few comments here. Rose Entertainment says, ban all mining operations in Ghana from Newmont, Ashanti, I think Anglo Gold Ashanti to down. And then this is also from Rose Entertainment, says, people are still mining in the forest and on our water bodies. That is what should be tackled now. Just banning a company is like a drop of water in the ocean. Ish. And then D&J Ventures says, what about Akonta mining? And yeah, the comments are many. Today,
So here, let me say a little bit about the lease agreements for viewers to understand
okay.
that the Mineral Commission took such a decision because of what the Ghana Mining Workers Union said, and because of what the chief said earlier, and per their own observation from the committee said, that is why such decision was taken.
Okay.
It's not really in line with Galamsey activity.
Okay.
Yes.
So D&J Ventures also said, but the same government will not terminate Akonta mining, right? God is watching us all.
Amen.
So TA says, yes, this is what we call the power of the people. What about Akonta mining? Clear documentary shows Akonta mining is destroying our forests. It shouldn't be let the people, hey, let's calm down. Okay. It shouldn't be, let's show the people that we are doing something. That's from TA. Then Akman Multimedia also says, there's still more to be done, Mr. Minister. We know if really your government wants to fight Galamsey, you can easily do it. But your government, please let us keep our comments savory and try to be more decorous in communicating. So he's basically saying that the government has not been very proactive with the Galamsey issues, and it's now continuing to pollute our water bodies. And then this one too is also saying they should hunt for Akonta mining too, because Frimpong Boateng reports indicated Akonta mining. Okay. Thank you so much for your comments. Hey, TA again says polio was eliminated more than 10 years ago, and it has returned. Let us blame Russia, Ukraine war.
What has that got to do with polio?
So this one says, good morning. My name is Owusu Banahene Godfred from Dansoman, Ebenezer Down. This is a wonderful show. Keep the fire burning. My regards to your co-host at Edna. Hey, madam. Your first today is not easy. Okay, so I think, I have read these already. So thank you so much for your comments. Today, you guys seem on fire. Thank you so much. And this brings us to the end of our news review. Thank you so much for joining me here. It was always an insightful conversation with you guys. Up next is the lifestyle segment with Miss Edna Yeboah Boateng, and they will be talking about facing adversity and, resilience. Yes, please, as you are here.
So I have with me a special guest who will be talking about overcoming adversity and building resilience. I know a lot of challenges.
You see, the last time I was telling my producer that
Clement, I'm not sure you face any challenges. Look at how handsome you are.
Hey.
You're looking so rich. Are you sure you're facing some challenges? Okay, so that's all we have for you, so stay tuned.
So yes, adversity and building resilience. So right after this break, Edna and her guest will be here to teach us a little bit of that. We'll be right back.
Unclogged TV. Beyond the Policy.
The Cocoa Digest morning show, and it's time for the lifestyle segments with me, Edna Boatin Yeboah, your host, stepping in for my colleague Miriam Abna Adede. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook, and you can also send in your WhatsApp messages on the numbers displayed on your screens. We are about treating a very inspiring and impactful topic this morning, and I have with me a special guest. But then before, our topic for discussion is overcoming adversity and building resilience. Overcoming adversity and building resilience is essential in navigating through life challenges. That is why I have here with me a special guest. I'll introduce her, but then before, I would want to say something small about her profile. She studied at the Ghana Institute of Journalism in Accra, Ghana, earning a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication Studies. Her works include ghostwriting, mentoring, and tutoring other young minds to write and publish their own books. She has currently authored 5 amazing books. Wow. Sinking Sun, Love at Last, Marrying for Purpose 1, The Boy Who Became a Mayor, and Marrying for Purpose 2. And she is in a person of Miss Sophia Yakoko. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm not sure you're facing any challenges in life.
It's just by God's grace.
We thank God. I look good as well.
Yes, you look
if you
very
want to compliment
good.
me, I
Yes,
will do
you look
right.
very, very good.
Thank you, thank you. So about our angle of conversation this morning, what do we mean by overcoming adversity and building resilience? Let's start from the basis.
Okay, so for me, I think that overcoming adversity and building resilience, there comes a time when we face challenges in life.
Exactly.
And if we are not able to really strategize and focus on coming out stronger, then the likelihood for us to remain at that position is very high. So if overcoming adversity simply means that you
And
Why?
yes, because I don't want my friends to be calling me and giving because depends on the situation at hand. Because for me, after I took out my SIM, now I began to focus on myself. So what can I do? So what can I? Should I get it?
when I got TV or something, I never did it on my chest because the pain I went through, I don't expect someone to go
the helping hand. The potential in me and
happen in the
Yes.
future, right? So I know education, but then do you think that education role right now can break the cycle between poverty and discrimination? Looking at the fact that a lot of people are now educated, meanwhile some are not educated, and in our country right now, some were not educated, but then they are very, very rich that we, the educated ones, are even looking up to them. So can you tell me if the role of education in our lives right now can break the cycle of we being poor or discriminated?
Well, I think that the role of education cannot be overemphasized when it comes to bridging the gap between poverty and discrimination. And you see, for some of these people that are rich and maybe they don't have formal training, they didn't have formal training, most of these people are now taking on courses, but we don't know. You understand? Yes, they are taking up courses, and in their secret, they are building themselves. We cannot overemphasize or neglect the role education plays in bridging that gap. Education is able to equip individuals with the requisite skills, tools, knowledge that is able to help them secure better job opportunities. It is able to help them able to foster critical thinking, help individuals to make informed decisions. It is able to nurture the principle of justice and equality. And I believe that strongly that education is very, very important. And it can help bridge that gap.
Okay, all right. So while you were talking, you really appreciated one lady that did you very well. Do you have any other support system in your life whenever you are feeling there's some obstacle in your way? Who comes through for you?
Okay, so first and foremost, I would appreciate the role of the Holy Spirit, like I said, in my life. And then also I thank the woman that came through for me. My mom has also been a great support system. And there is one man I would also want to appreciate, is my father. My father in the Lord, Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Kronipa. He's a general overseer of Overcomers Nation Church. You know, most of the time, people come out there and they lambast men of God, they lambast them on social media, accusing them of chopping people's money and all that. But the truth is that there are some people that are really doing the work. When I first gained admission into Ghana Institute of Journalism, the first person who gave me money, took money from his pockets and gave it to me, said that my daughter, go for shopping, so that when you get to campus, people will see that my daughter has, and he's not even my biological father, he is my father in the Lord. And he's always been there for me through thick and thin. When my graduation, he was there. He is only a call away anytime I need help. And I remember after my daddy died, that period, I had friends from church also coming around, encouraging me, sharing a joke or two. And those were times that really, really helped.
I will also say that my support system is my brother.
Okay.
In as much as my parents are still around and everything, he really comes through for me. And then I really appreciate him so much. We are just two, so I mean, he has to take care of his kid sister,
that's
you
nice,
know.
That's nice.
Yeah, but then we have one comment here from Joseph Efriye saying, go higher, God is with you. Timely topic in these times, especially for the Christian youth. I can attest to this because everyone has been going through some challenges. And then right now you are telling us more. Myself, I didn't know that even if I'm going through some challenges, I should assess some time immediately. I go to a friend to pour out my heart out, and then sometimes the advice they give me, I feel like if I had just assessed myself, it would have been way better. So moving on, I think I will do whatever you're telling me right now. It will help me so much. Okay, so we have another comment from Pasolo in Accra, who is asking that what steps can an individual take to build some resilience before facing challenges? What steps can an individual take to build some resilience before facing challenges?
Okay, so I think that some of the steps you can take is, first of all, you must have a personal vision. Yes, because at the end of the day, when you are down, what the drive that will keep you going is the vision. So personally, have a vision for yourself. Yes, have a vision for yourself. And also, I think that we've talked about the role of education.
Yes.
So if you need to maybe pursue higher offer courses, just do it. But just know that at the end of the day, you're a cheerleader.
Exactly.
You are your number one cheerleader. So have a vision and take steps towards those visions. And I believe that as you do so, God will also help you. And then, yeah.
Okay, so a question in East Legon is asking, how does practicing gratitude influence resilience?
Okay, practicing gratitude.
Yes,
influence resilience. Okay, so I think for me personally, you know, sometimes there are people that you do things for and they don't appreciate you.
Yeah.
And by so doing, their doors lock up. There are a lot of people that have missed great opportunities because they did not appreciate the little things that maybe people did for them.
We appreciate you. I'm really appreciative. The little thing you do for me, I can say thank you to you 1,000 times.
Yes, and it's very, very, very important that, and you see in our youth today, sometimes it's really, it's strange, but it looks like we are getting to a dispensation where people don't think that, oh, what the little things you do for, whether much or little, it doesn't matter. But I believe that showing gratitude for the little things can help other people to also do more for you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you'll be blessed.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So Joseph is asking, what can some of us do who do not have support systems now?
Okay, so if you don't have a support system now, what I will say is that are there people you look up to, like mentors, like teachers, like, yes, so just find out the people that you think they care about you. You get it? Sometimes your parents can be a great support system, but you see, there are times that when you are in a situation and you confide in somebody, the moment the person has a challenge with you, the person just comes out there and spits everything.
Everything.
Yes,
everything
so you need to be circumspect when you are choosing some of these support systems. Just, I will say again that just pray about it. God will lead you to people that can be a blessing to you, people that you can talk. But I believe that if you have pastors, if you have role models in your life, sometimes some of them have gone through some of these experiences.
Exactly.
And you can just walk up to them and maybe share your issues with them.
Okay, so has there been a time where someone showed some kindness to you and then it made a very big difference in your life?
Well, apart from my foster mother who helped me, the mere fact that my pastor just took money from his pocket and said, just take it, go for shopping, so that when you get to campus, I was not expecting that, and
wow.
it really made a difference for me. Yes.
Okay. I can also attest to this because when I started working, I used to live at a very far place, and then I was getting to work either stressed, tired, sleepy because I wasn't having enough rest. So I just confronted a friend, and then she was like, oh, you can come and stay with me. Oh. And then it made a very big difference in my life because I really appreciated that. I can say she's also my support system. Now I'm not living with her anymore, but then she did very good helping me out as a sister, right?
There are still good people out there.
Exactly. Yeah. We just have to pray so that God connects us to the right people. Yeah. So do you think that the Gen Zs of our time now, we the youth, should we have a certain form of future aspirations, and then should we stick by it, or in any circumstance or challenges that we go through, we shouldn't forget our future aspirations, go strictly by it?
Okay, so I think that for every individual, one thing that will keep you alive, one thing that will keep you going in life is for you to have a purpose, for you to know that this is what for you to find out what you really want to do in life, what you really want to do in society, and for you to work towards it. Without purpose, I don't know, you're actually not living life to the fullness.
Yeah.
You get it? So I believe that, yes, you must have, and for me, one of the things that helped me when I went to secondary school, before I entered into campus, I had already made plans for myself. I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because this is where I want to get to. And I believe that before we take any step, we should sit down and find out what are the things that are most likely to derail us from our path.
Yeah.
Then you find out, you map out strategies by which you will be able to achieve that aim. So yes, I think that you should have an aim, but sometimes some people are able to support you. There are people that they are even 30, but they don't know what they want to do in life. I believe that everybody has something. There is something you have an interest in.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be something that would be able to help you discover your purpose and then leave it.
Okay, so what you're saying right now, let's say initially I wanted to be a nurse, but then there were some obstacles that came my way. I didn't have enough support. I didn't really complete school to be the nurse that I want to become now. In as much as I would want to be a nurse, now I have to go and learn a trade, like some working skills and all those. Am I sticking to my aspiration?
Well, for me, I believe that, you know, sometimes, okay, maybe we all bought a bus. We say we are going to we pay ticket for Takoradi, and we are all headed in the same direction.
Yeah.
But we can get to Kasoa. Some people can alight at Kasoa. We can get to Mankesim. Some can alight at Mankesim. Winneba, by the time maybe we get to the actual destination where we all bought tickets from, it will just be a few people on the bus. Does that mean that those who sat in the bus and got to Takoradi have failed? Because those who alighted earlier, does that mean they have succeeded? I think that life is not a competition.
Exactly.
God takes us through different processes. Sometimes we just think that, oh, I started life with this person. This person is doing this, so I should also by force get there. No, the route is different for everybody. So there are some people that, some teenagers, some youths, that they even get pregnant. They had hopes of maybe going to school, but along the line they get pregnant. I tell them that it doesn't end here. After giving birth, you can find something doing and go back to what you wanted to do. And there are people that have been able to do that and they are doing well. So the mere fact that maybe you wanted to become a nurse and something comes up, your vision is that I want to be a nurse. You learn that trade. In working in that trade, you can save towards going to pursuing your nursing program.
Okay, so whatever being the case, whenever you're having you're facing some challenges, you just have to stand strong.
Stand strong.
Yeah.
Quitting is never the answer.
Not at all.
No quitting. You
no
can,
quitting
you can
here.
fall down. You can cry a bit, but you get up, clean yourself.
Even if you have to crawl to get up,
you have to do that.
Okay, so we have Eva in North Legon. Her question is, what is the relationship between mental health and resilience in the face of adversity? What is the relationship between mental health and resilience in the face of adversity?
Mental health and resilience in the face of adversity. Well, regarding mental health, I would have preferred a professional to speak
against it.
Yes, in that regard.
So, no problem. We have Abna Mimi. Her question is the impact of, so this is like, the impact of education on our lives cannot be underestimated. Great discussion. Exactly.
Thank you.
We can't underestimate the impact of education in our lives. All right, so right now, I would want to ask you, having like a sort of responsibility in your society? If yes, what are they?
Okay, so when I got to level 300 in Ghana Institute of Journalism, I saw that there was a need in most rural communities there was prevalence of high prevalence of teenage pregnancy, girls dropping out of school because they didn't have people to look up to. They didn't know their lives can amount to anything, and they thought that their sexuality was all there is. You get it? So they offer sex. It can amaze you that you go to some rural communities and they offer sex for sanitary pads. They offer sex for 5 cedis just to buy spark. And it was something that I saw, and I said that no, there is something we can do about it. So right on campus, what I did was I mobilized some of my colleagues. So when we go on break, then we organize ourselves, we embark on rural missions. First, the vision is to share the gospel, but when we go, we buy sanitary pads, we buy some of these things, and then we give it to them and we educate them. Yeah. We educate the young girls. We teach them about purpose discovery. We teach them about sexual purity. We teach them how they can have a dream, how they can build themselves up. Sometimes we even teach them how to acquire skills so that even after we have left, they will not go back to what they were in. And I believe that this is something that we can all do. When we find a need in our community, let's become that solution. And for most of these communities that we have visited, if you can check Ladies for Christ Foundation on Facebook. Some of the places we have visited, we posted some of the pictures and videos. They are not all the communities, but there are some of the works that we have done. And for some of the feedback that has come from these places, the parents will call and they are so appreciative. They tell us that, oh, since you left this village, the children, education has become some sort of competition. Everybody wants to go to school. When we take time to even educate the parents. We tell them about the importance of seeing their children furthering up their education and all that. So this is something that we still do. We still do. And for me, this writing project is not something to make a name or just to make money, and it's a ministry.
Wow.
So whatever proceeds that comes out of it, this is what we gather and we go out there and be a blessing to people.
That's very inspiring. Thank you. God bless you so much for doing this for others. Okay, so we have our final comments. We say this show is very okay. So it's from Owusu Banahene Godfred from Ebenezer Dansuman Down. And then he says, this show is very educative, especially with regards to the topic for discussion. I think in this current world in which we live now, discussions of this caliber will be helpful to everyone, especially the frustrated young kings and queens. I know, right? So we've come almost to the end of this segment, but then I have a surprise for you. Miss Sophia Yakoko is launching her book, and then I'll give her some few minutes to tell us something small about it. I'm counting down.
All right, so on Sunday, 22nd September, this very Sunday.
And please, I'm coming. There are some images, and I would want my producer to display them on the screen so you can see. Thank you.
Okay, so on Sunday, this very Sunday, I'll be launching 2 books. The Boy Who Became a Mayor, and then Marrying for Purpose. And like I said, the proceeds that comes out of this launch and the sale of the books is to go out there and be a blessing unto
venue. The
venue is Overcomers Nation Church. It's at Tesano, opposite Iten Drag. It's close to the Abeka Total Filling Station. Time is 11 a.m. So I'm just calling everybody. And if you want to partner with us, I just want to, if that's okay, I can share my number. If you want to partner with us, if you want further details, you can also call.
So what is the book about?
Come again.
What is it about, the book?
The book, so for The Boy Who Became a Mayor, it's a book that targets young minds. It teaches them how to be empathetic at a very tender age. It teaches them how to see the best in others. It teaches them never to lose faith and to aspire for greater things.
Wow.
And it's a book that I recommend for every parent out there. Get it for your child. And I believe that if these virtues are instilled in them at a very tender age, it will help them. And for Marrying for Purpose talks about, it's a book for if you're a single person trusting God for marriage, it's for you. It's if you are married, it is also for you. Okay. There is a reason why God created marriage, and we must find out the purpose.
I think we should
again,
Yes,
so that you
definitely.
explain into details
Definitely, I
about
would
your
love to
books.
be here
Well,
again.
thank you so much.
Thank you for having
honoring
me.
an invitation. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you for having
Okay,
me.
so this is where I draw the curtains on today's lifestyle segment on Clock TV, Cocoa Digest Morning Show. Next is the birthday segment, where I am most I am most happy about. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday. I heard today was your birthday.
It is time for the birthday segment, but then unfortunately, I have just one birthday segment. You guys should keep bringing in more birthday segments, because I mean, birthdays are to be celebrated, and then you wish someone, makes the person appreciative of how you love, even think about the person. I have with me here, happy birthday Nanama from Banners Consult NGO Nanaba Enterprise Dansuman. He's saying, wishing you long life and God's wisdom. Oh, thank you so much. Now, this is where we come to the end of the birthday segment. Up next is the business segment with Clemencia Bankwe, who is going to take us through the world of business. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Clog TV. Beyond the policy.
Get the weapon! Tigress! I'm the big fat panda. The whooshy finger hold. Oh, you know this hold.
Did not see that coming.
Choose someone else. Please.
Then to you the seventh nation.
This program is powered by Clock TV, Beyond the Policy.
Are you ready to groove to the beat of vibrant Afro video mix?
When you there, I say now you are the ones.
Clog TV. Beyond the policy.
I need my gun, Kane. I need the gun. You want it?
Science lecture.
This program is powered by Clock TV.
Clog TV. Beyond the policy.
Good morning and welcome to the Business Update segment. In our story for today, according to provisional data from the Ghana Statistical Service, Ghana's economy saw a growth of 6.9% in the second quarter of 2024. This is an increase from 4.7% growth observed in the first quarter. The service sector was the leading contributor to the growth in the second quarter, making up 44.2%. It was followed by the industry sector, which contributed 32.2%, and the agriculture sector, which accounted for 23.6%. Reports, which revealed that the number of bank and specialized deposit-taking institutions staff involved in fraudulent activities increased from 188 in 2022 to 274 in 2023, marking a 46% rise. Additionally, the financial losses due to fraud grew by 7%, reaching 88 million cedis during the same period. On this very story, today we'll be speaking with an analyst, financial analyst on this. But before we get into the conversation for this fraudulent activity, let's take a look at the data from the Bank of Ghana's reports from 2020 to 2023. The data that shows that indeed there is a rise in fraud activities in the banking sector, in the PSP sector, in the SDI sector. So producer will display that on the screen shortly. So viewers, you have a look at it and we will speak to it, whilst Dr. Prince Jima would also join us shortly after that. So as you can see on your screen, that's the fraud loss for the period of 2020 to 2023. That's banks and SDI, fraudulent withdrawals. In 2020, we had, producer, please take me to the first data. Take me to the first data. Let's get to the first data. Yes, so from the first data in 2020, we had ATM and cards and POS fraud That's 8,191.37 Ghana cedis. That was a loss. Looking at 2021, it increased to 22,850.67 pesos. In 2022 too, we had 34.32 Ghana cedis. Going to 2023, 3,528 Ghana cedis. So as you can see on your screen, when you go to check fraud tool, the same thing, cyber fraud. When you go to that of e-money, fraudery and manipulation of documents. Producer, let's go to the next data so that viewers will get to know what is really happening in the banking sector. So that's the next data. That's the fraudulent withdrawals. That's if people withdraw from your account without your notice, and it's really alarming. It's very, very alarming. And looking at that of the credit fraud, that's lending, the impersonation, the orders, remittance. So this is the data that make us understand that indeed things are increasing. Looking at 2020, it was 25,409 Ghana cedis, 58 pesos. Looking at that of the 2021, that was 61,135.5 pesos. Looking at that of 2022 to 56,348. That's of 2023, 72,540. And it's very, very alarming. Due to this, we'll be speaking with a financial analyst in the person of Dr. Prince Jima, who is a senior lecturer at the University of Akintina Piam Inka University of Skill Training and Entrepreneur Development. He is a PhD holder and also a chartered auditor and a chartered accountant. Dr. Prince Jima will join us shortly. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Sir, please, good morning and welcome to Business Update segment on Cocoa Digest Morning Show.
Yeah, good morning, Clement. How are you and your team?
Sir, we are doing so wonderful. And thank you so much for always being available for us. So I want to use this opportunity to congratulate you for the milestone, because 600 citations in article writing, it's not easy. And I want to use this opportunity to congratulate you on that milestone in your life.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Sir, we would like to...
Work.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard work. So, I mean, with God and hard work, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve.
Okay, sir. That's so amazing. And this actually should motivate the young ones watching us that you can do it. Since our own Dr. Prince Jima has done it, you can also do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, sir, let's move straight into our conversation. An amount of 88 million cedis was lost to fraudulent withdrawals in the banking sector. So what is your opinion on all this issue?
Yeah, it's very quite alarming. I mean, in fact, yesterday when I got the documents, I was going through and I was asking myself so many questions that what are we doing as a country? Because if you look at the statistics data, it tells you that, I mean, there's a rise in fraudulent activities, and particularly in foreign currencies, which for me, Ghana is really losing in terms of its Ghana cedis terms.
Okay.
Because now when you check how our foreign currency is, I mean, in terms of our Ghana cedis depreciating against our foreign currencies, and a situation whereby there's huge rise in fraudulent activities, then it's very, very alarming. Okay. And I think that the financial sector in Ghana, I mean, is facing so many challenges when it comes to security and fraud prevention.
Okay.
I mean, looking at the statistics, it shows that it's still rising. I mean, if we check from 2021 to 2022, where it jumps to about 65%.
Yeah.
And currently now it has also jumped by extra 7%.
Yeah.
It tells you that we need to strengthen our security, and the Bank of Ghana and all other stakeholders. I mean, we need to come up with some approach of trying to resolve. I will share some of the approach maybe at the end of the interview. I mean, some of the approach to be able to, in fact, stop this activities. Otherwise, I mean, we don't know what is going to happen in 2024, and we don't know what is going to happen in 2025 and beyond. I mean, it can be more alarming than what we see now. So we need to look at it as soon as possible to find a lasting solution to these electronic fraud.
Okay, so thank you so much. Say, in your submission, you said you have a your bank account. Sir, could you say that we have a lot of loopholes in our technology in terms of banking industry?
Yes, definitely, my brother. I mean, there's so many loopholes. There's so many loopholes, and you know, these kind of fraudulent activities. When you check, I mean, theory illiterate does not lie.
Okay.
Theory, there's something called what you call fraud triangle.
Okay.
And it will tell you some of the factors that people base on it to commit these crimes. I mean, the opportunity is there for people. If the opportunity is there for people, I mean, it will happen. And you see, for me, one of the particular aspects of these fraud activities is the staff, the employees of these financial institutions. Because most of these fraud activities are committed by some of the employees of that institution. Because when they have our data, they have all our biometrics, they have all our information concerning our savings and everything.
Okay, sir.
So when you check critically, you realize that the fraud activities, because when you check, you said that staff involvement is about 56%.
Okay.
So it tells you that the number of bank workers where some people have worked for several years are not being promoted. They think that, no, I need to be promoted. I need to get this salary. Somebody just came in 2 years ago, 1 year ago. He's taking more salary than me. And there's public pressures. What will the person do? The person will involve himself in fraud activities.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that he can able to satisfy, I mean, his luxury lifestyle.
Sir, hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
There was a data I projected earlier. I want the producer to project that data again on the screen. So, producer, no, project it in place of me. I want you to put it on the screen for viewers to have a look. I say speaking to it so that viewers will have to make comparison on that. So, sir, please, you can go on with your submission.
Yes. So you see, when you check even the complaints by individuals, it's just 7% that you see from people. And you can further check the data from some of the complaints that was done, I think, in 2023. We realized that the Bank of Ghana and other institutions across board, they had about 490-something complaints through emails, through walk-in, and through all of them. You realize that the customers involved were not as much as compared to staff involvement. And what will cause a staff to involve in activities? It is one, the opportunities that they have in their possession. Number two, the pressures that they get from people and family. And there's something called rationalization. I mean, as I've told you, when you look at the fraud triangle, we have these three key components that can lead to these fraud activities. So what will happen if I think that I have worked for so many years, I've not been promoted, and I deserve this kind of money, but somebody doesn't work? He doesn't even come to work, but the person is taking you some of money. That also based on available information to steal. And that is what is going on in most of these financial institutions. You get my point? And there's no proper internal control systems. You get my point? Sometimes when I go to ATM machines, I'm always scared. The reason why I'm scared is that when someone is standing behind me or beside me and I'm going to withdraw it, sometimes I'm scared that won't this person see my PIN numbers and other stuff which I'm entering in the ATM machine? So these are some of the things that, my brother, if care is not taken, where Ghana we are now moving to the era of digitalization, where we are trying to move everything to the clouds and to the digital world. If you don't put in proper internal controls, if you don't put in strict securities and strict pathways to some of the things you are using online, trust me, we will continue to see a high rise in these fraud activities. And now, my brother, you and I know that now most of Ghanaians are now moving to what we call electronic banking, electronic online shopping, and the rest. And I'm telling you that is where the perpetrators and the scammers are also targeting. Because now we are moving from the traditional way of doing things to a very formalized way in terms of electronic issues. And trust me, if care is not taken, these numbers we are saving will not even be enough. it will go beyond these numbers. And the staff involvement also will go beyond these numbers. When staff are not being remunerated well, they are not motivated well, it will even go beyond these figures that you are seeing. Because it's scary that if you take 2022, it was only just 82 million. The total loss due to fraud was only 82 million. It can jump to 288 million. And just look at the difference. It tells you that if we as Ghanaians, including the bank sector as a whole, don't put a very straight kind of security, then we are going to see huge numbers. And my brother, anytime government is bringing a solution, at times you look at just one side. You just look at one side of it. You don't look at other side. Because when you realize that these activities are involved by three people, the first people is the customer him or herself. The next one is the institution, the bank, or the organization involved. And the third person is the staff. Now, the organization involved is, I'm talking about the top management, right from the top management to the lower level people, including the employees and the rest, and then the customer themselves. And then the systems that have been put in place. And you realize that anytime you are bringing a solution, you look at only the systems. If you are bringing internal controls, you look at only the systems involved. We forgot about the management, including the staff and the customer.
Okay.
So if you want to prevent all these things, the policies and the rules and regulations should not only protect only the controls that we are putting in place.
Okay, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, coming.
Yes, sir. You made mention of the banks also being affected with this. So, sir, with this issue happening in the banking sector, would one say that our trust in the banking sector in Ghana, is it going to reduce? Because people will be wondering, putting my money there, and by the time I realize it's not there, is it going to affect the banking sector stability in Ghana?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, it's going to affect the banking sector because, I'm sure if that continues to happen, whose money are we going to use to offset it? It's our own savings, or?
Yeah.
It's our own savings. So if these laws continue to happen, at the end of the day, the bank also have to increase interest rates. The bank also have to find a way of trying to recoup the money that have been lost. So at the end of the day, interest rates on loans will go high because they need to also get gains or income to be able to offset these losses. So definitely, the trust will not be there. You get my point?
Yes,
so for me, it is high time that it is not only about the control systems. It's high times we also look at people that we employ in the banking system, and then also the customer. We ourselves also should be paid. It should not only be the bank itself, because some customers, their password, for example, their password to even their social media account, to their email account, to their bank account is the same. And if people get to know these passwords that you are using, what will happen? Because in theory, there's something called the bad apple or the bad cop. Now, this bad cop, they are not, whether you like it or yes, not all of us are good people.
Yeah.
So if your password is very weak and people get to know your password, what is going to happen? Sometimes I'm so surprised that even in the banking sector, some of the staff, their password also to their operational activities, or let me say the password that they also enter for them to open to their laptop for them to work. It's so weak.
So,
to the extent that
hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, before you go, you made mention of some customers, like viewers watching us, who ATM password is the same as their Momo password, and even their that of their Gmail, people use the same password all across. What advice will you give to such people so that they will not be a victim of fraud?
I will advise that people should restrict from these kind of things, because for me, your password should be strong enough that it is only you that know. Maybe, for example, if it's your husband or your wife that you want to reveal to them, I don't have any issue about that. But it should be strong enough. Sometimes some people, their password is just easy. Some of them even use the telephone numbers as their password.
Yeah.
The first 4 digits of their telephone numbers as their password. So the scammer, what the scammer will do is that you go to online, and at times when you go to the online, you know, for example, most of the banking sector, they'll give you a username, and then you have a password. Some of them, instead of them to create a strong password, maybe at least 10 characters, including numbers and special numbers, maybe like ads and the rest, to use the telephone numbers, the first 10 digits or the first 4 digits as their password. And some of these perpetrators, they will just go online, try and see. And you know, for example, if people is able to log into your account online, they can able to transfer money from your account.
Yeah.
Because they use, as I said, the usernames and the rest, at times the bank, the staff in the bank, those who are not motivated can reveal to these perpetrators and tell them that, oh, this person, when he came to the banking today, his password was a telephone number. So let's try it online and see if the telephone number can work. And it works for them. Okay. People use their Ghana card numbers as their password, and it is wrong. You get my point? At times you can combine it with your date of birth, you can combine it with your maybe like your name or something.
Okay, so
you get my point?
Yes.
I was telling someone that I mean, the way maybe God Almighty is fair. You know, when you take your phone, you realize that the numbers have these letters under it. So maybe if it's God, the God is, I mean, you can use such thing to create your password. Instead of you using your telephone numbers and then all these things, I mean, these people can able to actually get your information online and withdraw your money.
Okay.
And withdraw your money. Yes. Okay. So these are some of the things that you have to kind of check.
Okay, so in your opinion, what other steps do you think that these banks and the SDI and the PSP are supposed to take as quick as possible to solve this issue?
Good. I take that for me, individuals, for example, customers, I would advise Ghanaians that any information that you receive that verify this, click on this, please walk into the bank and ask.
Okay.
At times, if the numbers are not unofficial, you know, most Ghanaians, let me tell you, most Ghanaians in Ghana, where they are saving, they don't even know the official numbers of their bank.
Yes,
they don't even know. So if I ask myself, if you take MTN, for example, if you take Vodafone and all of them, what do you call it, Telecel, now they have an official number that calls you for information. Even when you want to get information, you dial just 100 and you get the information. Fire service have their own unique number. So if a number calls you and that number is normal numbers like you and I are using, why still give them information? So I will advise Ghanaians that anywhere you are saving, get the official emails and the official telephone numbers of the bank. Now, my brother, there's something called phishing. People, some of the scammers, they can send fake emails that look the same as the emails coming from your bank. But you need to always verify. You need to always verify that information, whether it is really coming from where you are banking. You get my point?
Yes,
also, now, I will also advise that we always have to have a strong password. We always have to have a strong password. We shouldn't use one password for our Momo PIN, our ATM, our online transactions and everything. Let's get, if you think that you cannot remember them, I mean, you can write it and save it somewhere for future reference.
Okay, sir.
It shouldn't be like your password for your ATM card is same as Momo PIN and all of them. You have to be very careful.
Okay.
And then also, we also have to be very careful. We have to always monitor our accounts.
Okay.
At times, some of us, we don't even check our accounts at all. We need to actually check our accounts frequently to make sure that the balance that we are expecting should be always one. Should be there. Sir. Another thing that I will also is that Ghanaians, we also like fake investment. Fake investments. I mean, there's rampant investment fraud.
Okay.
I mean, we always want to get rich overnight.
Okay, sir.
I always try to say that any organization that will give you 2 times of the free rates, the risk-free rates in Ghana, you have to be very careful. If the treasury rate is 29%, and somebody is giving you about 2 times or 3 times of that rate as your income on investment, be very careful. Most of them are fraud.
Okay, so there's a very good point that you've raised, and I think it falls under financial literacy. And moving forward, we will have such discussions with you so you educate viewers on issues like this. Because as you said, most of the time, when you hear interest rates rising on some investments, we quickly rush into it. And by the time we realize we are down to zero. And it's a very good thing. And we'll be having more conversation with you on such issues. And so we are so grateful having you. But before you go, your last words to viewers.
Yeah, so my last word to the viewers is that, I mean, I think most Ghanaians also are not having the awareness of these kind of scammings and the rest. I think there should be enough education by the Bank of Ghana and other stakeholders that, I mean, fraud is well. I mean, it's there. I mean, if we keep on educating, especially our people, should I say, with less kind of education, I mean, we need to educate them more about some of these precautions that they can take so that, I mean, they can able to kind of prevent these fraud activities that is going on. Then I also say that most organizations, especially our banks, are using outdated softwares and then weak passwords. I will also advise that, I mean, bank, I mean, you know that our money, our destiny is in your hands. So we are begging them that they should be able to get up-to-date softwares and have strong passwords to their machines so that if people want to attack, I mean, these things can be, I mean, easy to be prevented. So I wish Ghanaians all the best, and let's be careful, let's be cautious, and then let's authenticate our emails, let's have strong passwords, and let's keep on monitor our accounts closely. And I know for sure we can able to reduce this fraud activity that is going on in our country.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Prince Jima, Senior Lecturer of Amstead. Actually, he was traveling, but because of you and I, he's supposed to pack and just speak with us on this very issue. Thank you so much, and always watching Business Update segment. He said one thing, and I know you don't want to miss, or you just don't want to forget. One particular thing he said, that if you have one password for all your accounts, please desist from it as soon as possible. Some of us, we are going to change it. So we also want to change it. So you don't want to be a victim of such activity ongoing. Thank you so much. I am Clement Yaban Kwe. Up next is the main discussion with Yaira Avuno and her guest. Stay tuned.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
To be discussing PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, with our very own Dr. Victoria Partey Newman. She's the resident health physician at the College of Physicians and Scientists here in Accra. So let's get into it. Good morning. How are you doing? You look pretty too. Thank you. So at this point, you are basically our favorite doctor now. So we are glad to have you here again, our favorite doctor. And as this month is PCOS Awareness Month, we would like to just talk a little bit about it, and then we educate our audience or our viewers about it. So what is PCOS, or what is polycystic ovarian syndrome?
Okay, so like you said, polycystic ovarian syndrome, number one, it's a hormonal condition.
Okay.
And number two, is chronic. When we say chronic, it means it cannot be cured. It's something that you would live with. So it's a hormonal chronic condition in women alone, in their reproductive age. So right from the puberty till menopause, you would exhibit symptoms of PCOS. So usually it's associated with certain symptoms. Yes. And PCOS really, it starts from the brain. Okay, so in the brain we have the hypothalamus, we have the pituitary gland. Okay, the pituitary gland is responsible for producing prolactin. Yeah. So there's this connection between the pituitary and the hypothalamus called the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. So when there's a shift in that, it causes an increase in the hormone called the gonadotrophin hormone. And that causes an increase in the luteinizing hormone, which is responsible for ovulation. So if you notice the PCOS, they are saying polycystic ovarian, meaning that the condition related to the ovary of the woman. Yes, so usually the ovary is 2 to 5 times bigger than the usual size. So 2 to 5 times bigger than the usual size, and usually it's more or less on ultrasound. You see it as a string-like pale line, which shows that those string-like of pearls are usually follicles that have not released the eggs. So it's like the ovulation, anovulatory phase. So the ovulation is not occurring, the eggs are not being released, and you could have a whole line of it, more than, let's say, 10 in the cortex of the ovary.
So basically, the ovary has produced eggs, but they haven't come out.
Yes.
So is there a way to force them out, or if even the sperm gets there, can those follicles be fertilized?
Okay, good. That's a good question. So usually every woman is supposed to ovulate. And usually with the cycle, we have 14 days after menstruation. That's the luteal phase. And you release the ovary. You release an egg. And the egg travels through the fallopian tube. And then sometimes the sperm, it meets the sperm in the fallopian tube. That can cause ectopic pregnancy. Ideally, it's supposed to meet the sperm in the ovary, in the endometrium, the womb. So every woman has to ovulate. But with the PCOS, because there's a problem with the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, increase in GH and increase in the LH, there's over-secretion of androgens. That's androgen is a male hormone. So in the over-secretion of the androgen causes overexcitement of the ovary. So you end up ovulating more, but then you are not releasing the egg. And it's just forming, it just ends in the follicular phase. And then at the end of the day, there's no fertilization. So the egg, the sperm will be there, but there will be no egg to meet the sperm. But the egg is still confined in the ovary.
So you mentioned male hormones. So does that mean that women have male hormones too?
Yes. So ideally, women, the ovary produces the androgens. It also produces progesterones and estrogens. These are the hormones. So they produce it in certain constituents, or let's say percentages. Over secretion of the LH hormone, the luteinizing hormone responsible for ovulation, also causes an increase in the production of the androgen, which causes overproduction of the eggs, or we call the oocytes.
Okay. So do men also have, female hormones too? They don't have any.
They don't have.
So how come
when a man has a female, the reason why the women we have a bit of the androgen is for the egg production.
Okay.
That's why when it's too much, there's overstimulation of it.
Okay.
For the men, the androgens is also for the sperm production.
Okay.
Yes. But men too can have hormonal balance.
Okay.
That's when we have issues like gynecomastia.
Okay. What does that mean?
That's more or less like mastia is breast.
Okay.
And gyne is women. So breast of so you will see that most of them have big breasts than usual.
Okay.
So they would have to go to the hospital and examine their breast. And then most of the time it's hormonal, or it could be a chronic condition. It could be chronic liver disease.
Okay.
That can cause gynecomastia.
Okay.
It could be medications. Some medication like spironolactone can cause gynecomastia.
Okay.
So those ones are when the estrogens are more in a man.
Okay.
So now we are looking at androgens more in a woman. That's the PCOS.
Okay. So what are some of the symptoms of PCOS then?
PCOS, it has a whole range of symptoms.
Okay.
Psychological symptoms, metabolic symptoms, and then physical symptoms.
Okay.
So we can take it up.
Okay,
so
sure.
we start from, usually there will be the main thing, menarche. Ideally, you are supposed to menstruate 12 times in a year. That's every month.
Yeah.
But then to be diagnosed with PCOS, you menstruate less than 9 times, or you have less than 9 cycles in a year. And usually the interval of the cycle is supposed to be 28 days, at most 30 or 32 days.
Yeah.
But with the PCOS, they have more about 35 days apart.
Okay.
For the cycle, for the next cycle. Some even 3 months. Yeah. So basically, we look at irregular menstrual period, like I was talking about the prolonged period, and then also doing ultrasound. One of the diagnoses of PCOS is ultrasound.
Okay.
You would notice a string-like pearl.
Yeah.
You see it that the follicles are, that's the fluid-filled sacs or cysts.
Okay.
They are cysts around the ovary like pearls. You know how the pearl looks like. And those one is a diagnostic. It's enough to confirm that you have PCOS.
Okay.
But then you would have to also have not been having irregular menses, or you even menstruate and it's very scanty.
Yeah.
We call it oligomenorrhea.
Hey.
Or you would bleed for long periods.
Okay.
More like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Wow.
Then we have to look into it.
Okay.
Sometimes too there's overcramping. People, it's good to have menstrual cramp, but when a child or a young lady or a woman is in starting menarche and there's excessive pain to the extent they have to be admitted, we have to screen for PCOS because those are the excessive cramping. And then bloating of the tummy. You'd realize that once in a while you feel bloated. You should also screen for PCOS. And then also you would have hirsutism. That's unwanted hair, sometimes in the chest, the back, the butts, and then the chin. Yeah, which is not supposed to be in women. When you notice those signs in you, you should screen for PCOS. And also one thing you would know is be observant with your body, because sometimes you are not, usually you didn't start out having hair. Then maybe in your mid-20s you notice those changes. There's bulge in your abdomen, you gain weight in your abdomen more, now you notice hair, and then there's thinning of your own hair. And then you'd realize that you have hair loss. Some even have male pattern baldness. And those are all symptoms of PCOS. And then there's the one that affects the confidence the most is the skin. Then we have acne, because you could have the best skin how do you call it, treatment, and still be having the acne because it's hormonal. There's nothing much you can do. And then so one of the things that some people say whenever I'm stressed out I break out. We should screen for PCOS. Yes. And then also psoriasis of the skin. Some people have a certain skin condition like eczema, which it's on and off, which is chronic. Those are all skin. PCOS really affects the skin, and women, our beauty is the skin. So when it's affected, it kind of affects the confidence.
Yeah, okay.
So most women who have acne, you realize they are not too confident, not because they don't want to be confident, but who would want to walk around with their face with a lot of pimples and then, you know, it really affects that. So they need a lot of support.
Okay.
So this topic is very important for mothers, especially who have daughters who are in the puberty. When they are growing and they have acne and all that, you have to support them. I actually had one patient whose mom, who was in Wesley Girls, and then the mom, she had so bad, like the acne was that very bad. And she was not performing well in school because of that. So they had to involve the dermatologist and all that. And then we noticed that like her confidence was bad because her face was clear. So the skin is very important for a woman. So that's one. So when you notice those things, and then also, like I talked about, psychological stress, depression, and then you always feel tired.
Okay.
Anything you do, you feel tired, you feel stressed out, like you feel burnt out, you are worn out. It's a sign, and it's very funny. Most hormonal issues or hormonal diseases, it comes out like being burnt out. Like for example, thyroid disease, it's a differential of PCOS because there's weight gain, you feel tired, you feel hypothyroidism. That's low hormone, low level of thyroid. That's have symptoms like PCOS.
Okay.
So fatigue, and then also consistent pelvic pain.
Okay.
Because there's over proliferation of the oocyte, or let's say eggs in the ovary, and it doesn't sit so well in the body, and then you consistently feel body pains all over, especially in your pelvic area. You should have it checked. And then some people just gain weight easily and lose weight easily. If you are the type, you notice that you easily gain weight. Within a week, you could gain like approximately 2 to 5 kilos. You need to screen for PCOS. And then some people jokingly say, if I put my mind to losing, I can just easily lose the weight. So then you could see that there's something that's triggering that. Those things are high cortisol levels. And the PCOS causes the high cortisol levels, and then this cortisol level is the one that causes the weight gain.
So what is cortisol then?
Cortisol is a hormone. They call it stress hormone. So usually we need it in the body, but not too much. Too much of cortisol can cause problems like diabetes, or we have something we call metabolic syndrome. So with that, there'll be diabetes, there'll be hypertension, there'll be high level of cholesterol, that's hyperlipidemia or dyslipidemia. All these three characteristics can cause the metabolic syndrome, and that is as a result of the cortisol being high in the body. So stress is a factor for high cortisol levels, you understand? And if you know you have a family history of PCOS, and you know that you have that kind of stress for life, you should watch out. So some people, like some girls, they like soft life. It's not like they like soft life, but it's like when pressure is thrown at them, they don't do too well with it, even health-wise. So they break down, they have the acne, they break out, they are missing their periods. Then the mood swing comes in. Now they realize their period is also not. When a woman's period doesn't come, she's worried.
So it's just a cycle of stress.
Exactly.
Okay. So it is getting very interesting here, and I want to remind you that we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. So send in your questions, your comments, your suggestions to our Facebook or YouTube live stream, or you can even send them to our WhatsApp numbers displayed on your screen. So Doc, is PCOS related to fibroid in any way?
Okay. So I think that's a very good question, because women think every woman's illness or every woman's issue is fibroid. So you notice in the markets and places around, they advertise for products in the name of fibroid. So if a woman has this, it's fibroid. But I beg to differ to know that PCOS and uterine fibroid are two different things altogether, both involving the female reproductive system. But the PCOS has to do with the ovary. And it's affecting the body with overproduction of androgen, and then affecting the development of the egg. That's PCOS. When we come to uterine fibroid, it has to do with overgrowth, or should I say myoma, like more or less like a tumor, which is not malignant, which is not cancerous. So it's more or less like a benign tumor of the uterus. And the uterine fibroid, we have different positions. So we have some in the womb. We call it intramural, that's in the muzzle of the uterus. And then we have subserosal, that's outside the uterus, pedunculated, hanging on a thread. So with that one, it's big, it's fibroid, but then it's mobile because it's hanging on a thread from your uterus. With that, you can give birth because it's not in the womb, but it's outside.
So I think we even have another image.
Yeah, so if you look at the image, you'd notice the normal ovary on the left side from where I'm sitting. That's the normal ovary, how it's supposed to look like. With a polycystic ovary, it's 2 to 5 times bigger than a normal ovary. And you'll notice that there's this round globular structures within the periphery of the ovary, which is usually, we term it the string-like pearl, which shows that it's diagnostic of PCOS. Yes. With the uterine fibroid, you would notice the structure in the middle, the globular structure in the middle with the cervix. So the fibroid is a growth in that. So we have the fibroid inside, that's the intramural, we have the subserosal. There are different types of fibroid that can grow at different places. Yes. So those
that is not related.
That is not related to PCOS. That's for another day.
So, Doc, how or what are the causes of PCOS? Are there things we do that make us susceptible to PCOS?
So, like I said, PCOS is no fault of any woman to have PCOS. So you need to do a good background check on family history. So if you notice your mom, an auntie, or a sister has those symptoms and you start showing signs, you should quickly go to the hospital for a checkup. So I would say family history is one. Another one too is stress. Too much stress can, affect the whole correct cycle of the body, and then it causes increased cortisol levels and all that. Another factor for PCOS, like I said, is the genetic factor. Some genes can predispose you to PCOS. And earlier on, I talked of the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis. So the pituitary gland produces prolactin. Yes, and then the hypothalamus pituitary gonadal axis coordinates the ovulation, menstruation, and all that. So normally people with PCOS will have high prolactin because it's like there's some discord dance going on with the ovary. Yes. So you notice stress, you notice failure of the gonadal axis, and then also family history can cause that, and then obesity. So it's funny, you would say PCOS causes obesity, and obesity can cause PCOS. It's more like a cycle because what happens is that the PCOS affects the hormones, and then with the androgen being in excess, it causes cravings for sugar and increased insulin resistance. Insulin is a hormone that regulates sugar in the blood. So when you don't have enough of the insulin, or your insulin is not working, or the pancreas in the body is not working to produce the insulin, you get diabetes. So you notice PCOS, some have issues with diabetes. So some of them would have. So with this diagram, you'd notice these are the symptoms. You notice the increase in fat in the abdominal area. And you'd also notice, like I said earlier, the luteinizing hormone goes up. And then also we have something we call acanthosis nigricans. That one is more like darkening of the neck. And patches of skin tags. It shows that your sugar is not well controlled. Usually you notice those. And then we also have, like I said, insulin resistance puts you at the risk of diabetes, which is a cause of PCOS. And then also we have long-term and short-term complications of PCOS. Like I said, the cardiovascular problem, hypertension, diabetes, and then hyperlipidemia, high cholesterol can cause that. Like I said earlier, central obesity. So you notice you are just gaining weight in your stomach area effortlessly with not much. All these are symptoms of PCOS.
Okay, so we've got a few questions coming in, so I'd like to read them and then we can continue. So this one says, thanks a lot, Doctor and Clog TV. Sensitization of these conditions are very important. I recently encountered a similar case. Kudos to you guys, Dr. Nick Bongo. Thank you very much for your submission. This one says, good morning, please. I am Sandra. I'm watching from Ashaiman, Lebanon. Please, I've been feeling movement around my vagina. Anytime I have an affair with my partner, blood comes. What should she do?
Okay. All right, so that's a different issue, but I would answer your question.
Okay.
We're talking of cervical cancer. I'm not saying you have cervical cancer, but we have the virus called the human papilloma virus, which HPV, which causes cervical cancer. And also we have something we call cervicitis. That's inflammation of the cervix, which comes as a result of the HPV, and continuous inflammation can lead to the cancer. So what I would advise is that you would have to screen for a pap smear. You would have to do a pap smear. So a pap smear is you're going to use a speculum, and then you're going to pick up a sample from the cervix to check if it's malignant or benign, if it's cancerous or not. So one of the symptoms of cervical cancer is postcoital bleeding. After sex, you bleed. And pain during sex, excessive pain during sex.
So another question here says, good morning. PCOS, can they give birth in this condition?
Yes, that's a very good question. One of the long-term complications of PCOS is infertility. But when diagnosed early, like I said, going for your checks early, and you are managed with medications, like you are put on, one of the treatments is put on contraceptives. That's the OCP, that's the oral combined contraceptives. Those ones help regulate your cycle and then helps with you having a regular menstrual. And then it kind of when it's done for like some time, it resets the body, and then you're able to start ovulating when you are off it, and then you can get pregnant. So it can be managed very well. Some people are also put on metformin, which regulates the insulin sensitivity and resistance of the body, and that also increases your chance of ovulating.
Doc, I think you should shed some light on the combined oral contraceptives, because there's this stigma around it that it is all just to be able to be having indiscriminate sex, but there is more to these contraceptives than we are aware of. So if you can shed some light on that.
I would really wish to throw more light on it, because I have a sister who actually has severe menstrual cramps to the extent that she cannot go to school. She cannot do anything for 1 week. So usually in that case, when there's an exam, would you say she forfeits the exam? No. She needs to be on contraceptives. So then the doctor, her gynecologist, will put her on contraceptives for some time to avoid the period, so that she could just write the exam and then continue with her life. So contraceptives should not be stigmatized. It's very important. It helps with recycling and resetting the body when women have hormonal challenges. And one of the treatments of PCOS is using the contraceptives.
So what are these contraceptives made of?
So like I said, PCOS is having over-exertion of androgens, and these contraceptives are made of progesterones and estrogens. Those hormones is what make you a woman. So the introduction of these hormones in the body kind of balances out the hormones, and then you just function out well. Because when you have so much androgens, then you are going to exhibit symptoms of male pattern, like male characteristics, which you are female. So then you see the body antagonizing each other, and you are not feeling well all the time.
So thank you so much. And please, as you've heard about these contraceptives, please do well to ask your gynecologist before going to purchase any. Make sure to ask questions and get detailed information before you take anything, because these things always have side effects. It's best to know what you are getting into. Talk to a doctor, please. So let's get the other questions, then we take a break. So this one says, hello, good morning, madam. Please, can leukocytes cause infertility in both men and women? If yes, what treatments can you recommend for us? I did a urine test and leukocytes came out positive. Please help out a sister. Each time I'm on my menstrual cycle, I always see clotted blood in my urine.
All right. So leukocytes is just white blood cells.
Okay.
Which shows that there's a sign of infection.
Okay.
So usually what worries a doctor is what we call PID, pelvic inflammatory disease.
Okay.
Which can cause infertility in a woman.
Okay.
When over time has not been treated. So then you need to treat with antibiotics. You need to be on some medications. You need to see your doctor to be treated very well with antibiotics. And we need to do a urine culture.
Okay.
To know what particular bacteria is causing the infection, and then we treat once and because sometimes we use broad spectrum antibiotics to treat this urinary tract infection, and at the end of the day they come back recurrent infections again. So like she said, it's very important because it will eventually affect your childbirth when it comes with clogged fallopian tubes and pouch fluid in the pouch of Douglas. That's a part of their respiratory, the reproductive system. And all these things can affect the fertility. And likewise in men as well. When your partner also is, if you are treated and your partner is not treated, you go back to your partner, you'd get reinfected.
Okay.
And your partner is already infected, it affects the urethra in the penis. So that's when some of them would have, you would have double stream of urine, dividing urine, and then at the end of the day they end up having to wear a catheter when they are growing old because the urine can't come out in the correct way. So treating infections is very important when picked up with a urine routine exam.
Okay. So this one too is, my question is, this PCOS mimics many conditions, especially in women. What is specific about PCOS that makes it different from others?
So that's a good question. Like I said, PCOS is syndromic. Like it's a combination of different symptoms, and it mimics other symptoms. Like I said, thyroid, hyperthyroidism, where there's loss of weight, sweating, or excessive palpitations, and all that. Hypothyroidism, there's weight gain. So people will say you are lazy. It's not lazy. You're always tired. There's fatigue. So these are the differentials of PCOS, and other things like diabetes, obesity. Like you can't. So the question she's asking is, what will make you say this is PCOS? Yeah. So that's when we come with the criteria. When your period is less than 9 cycles in a year, whereby there's 35 days apart between the cycles, with oligomenorrhea, which is scanty blood, or flowing in excess when your period comes, with symptoms of string-like pearls in the ovary cortex, we can confirm that's PCOS.
Okay, thank you very much. It is time for us to go on a quick break. When we come back, the phone lines will be opened for you to call in and ask your questions. Keep your questions coming in onto our WhatsApp and our YouTube and Facebook live stream. We really appreciate them. Just stay tuned here. If you have a friend or colleague, anybody around you that you think this is very, very important for them to also know about, just tell them to tune in to Clock TV or find us on Facebook or YouTube and join in the conversation. We will be right back.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
I just want to take a moment and thank everyone in law enforcement who helped us in the search for our beloved daughter.
There's no point hiding things from me.
You're psychic?
No, just paying attention. I've been watching you and your husband. I understand what you're feeling right now.
You have no idea.
I do. I know. Did you kill your daughter? How dare you? Did you kill your daughter? Jude, please. Honestly, it's not as bad as it looks.
Classic Red John smiley face. Down in the victim's blood, gloves with 3 fingers of his right hand.
This isn't Red John. In all the previous killings, he made sure that the first thing that anyone sees is the face on the wall. Then, and only then, do you see the body of the victim.
Clog TV, Beyond the Policy.
You're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we are discussing PCOS, treatment, symptoms, everything about it. So you can send in your comments and your questions to our live stream on Facebook and YouTube, and also to our WhatsApp number displayed on your screens. The phone lines will be open for you to call in and ask your questions as well. So, Doc, we have one more question here. He says, good morning again. Do PCOS never ovulate, or is it menstruation? I think he's asking whether they never ovulate or menstruate, and if it is irregular, can IVF be a way to go?
Okay, so it looks like you are just having a salad of your questions. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so PCOS, you don't ovulate.
Okay.
Because the eggs aren't coming out.
Okay.
The stages of egg, we have the follicular phase, and then we have the phase that the eggs will come out.
Yeah.
So it ends with the follicular phase.
It doesn't complete the cycle.
Complete the cycle, yes. With IVF, it's a type of method if you are trying to get pregnant, which is different from the PCOS, but then it's a solution if you are not ovulating.
Okay.
So introduce the fertilized ovum inside the womb for you to for you to have your child. So he just asked the question and giving the solution.
So is it possible to have a fully developed ovum that does not come out?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go quickly into treatments, and let's start with diagnosis. So how do we diagnose PCOS?
So I think we've spoken a lot about it, the fact that irregular menstrual period, right from puberty, you notice your period. But you should note for mothers or aunties or guardians, when a woman, a girl starts her period, it's mostly irregular for, let's say, the next 6 months.
Okay.
And then it starts regularizing. When it regularizes and then it's normal, and now you notice that it's now changing back, whereby 3 months, 2 months, you've not had your period due to stress, and you know you're not having sex, and you know you're not pregnant. There's another probability why you're not having your period.
Okay.
It should be looked into.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the things that cause that.
So as a lady, if I'm getting irregular periods and things, what do I go to the hospital? What am I even how do I go to the hospital, or what do I seek in the hospital?
Yeah, so we have a clinic for women, the gynae clinic or well woman clinic. You come and report to your doctor that you're having irregular menses. And then we do a hormonal assay.
Okay.
We check your LH, FSH, your estrogen, progesterone, even your androgen levels.
Okay.
All those things will give us an idea of how low or how high your hormones are.
Okay.
So based on that, with PCOS, your androgens levels go very high, and that's diagnostic with the fact that you are having irregular menstrual period. And then some would come in with weight gain and mood swings and feeling depressed and down for no reason. Exactly. Those are all symptoms of PCOS.
So for the hormone test, is it a blood test or
it's
urine
a blood test?
Okay.
It's a blood test, which is done preferably in the morning. Because the hormones follow a circadian pattern in the body. Like it's more or less like at this time it peaks and it comes down. So you just don't wake up to go to the hospital to say you want to do a hormonal test. It should be you should be guided, and then at a particular correct time the blood test is picked, and then we're able to know exactly what is happening to you.
Okay. So what about scans? How would scans help with a situation
an
like this?
ultrasound is very important. If you do a scan, the scan is just the normal using a probe and then a gel, like when you're pregnant. So the way you're able to pick up a baby, you look at the ovary, and then you see that string-like pearl structure, and you know that there's PCOS going on. If you are not convinced, you will do a transvaginal scan. Where you have to go through the vagina with a probe, and then they are able to see directly with the ovary, because PCOS can happen to one ovary, and the other ovary can be normal. Sometimes it can be bilateral. So one ovary is fine, the other one isn't. So this is how you diagnose PCOS.
So with treatments, what are some of the treatments that are available for us or recommended?
So usually we have more or less conservative treatments for PCOS, whereby the doctors say exercise, less stress, eat well, less fatty foods, drink good water, sleep is very important when dealing with PCOS. Because, like I said earlier, cortisol level rises up. It increases insulin resistance. The insulin resistance can cause increased hyperandrogenism, which leads to the PCOS. So it's very important.
We have a caller on the line, so let's put a pin in that. Yes, hello, your name and where you're calling from, please. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Pacho Mekasafri Malambal.
Okay. Pacho, ubesimi bisa wa wasem bisa.
Pacho. Doesn't bisa I'll buy young men. The lack of hospital, now must say, Daddy, now be enough. I didn't know to share from my air back of it. The same bisa doctor say, Elisia, I'm going to be here the one.
Okay, I think she's saying the daughter or something has only one ovary.
Oh, okay.
Yes, is that possible, or what to do?
So what's the question?
So, Pacho, hello?
Is she trying to say, is it normal to have one ovary?
Yeah, the daughter has just one ovary, and she wants to know if the daughter would be able to have a child.
So that's big tree.
Yeah, you can. I think so.
Okay, so I mean, did you say Obana or Nkusia back, our ovary back, no, or bet to me, because ovary no yemi no. Then their happiness said this month way back, way to Nkusia, next month no way so bet to Nkusia. It's our back, no chances no be low say on to me to Nkusia, but definitely or bet to Nkusia na only sperms na share na wenya akwala. So it's possible, say, obe to me, anyaba, but and yet giddy but with monitor, it's very possible.
Okay, so we have another one. Please, how does a PCOS patient lose weight? So yeah, we were talking about lifestyle, the treatment, so eating well and things like that.
Yeah, so eating well, avoiding foods with diet. So it starts with your oils.
Okay.
A lot of fatty foods or fried foods. Most of the food should be boiled or grilled.
Okay.
And then the oils you use should be minimal. And then mostly recommended sunflower oil, soya bean oil.
Okay.
And also I think we should go more of baked food. Yeah, okay. Baked foods.
So
and then vegetables, very important.
Okay.
But make sure you wash them very well.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like add it to your meals, to kind of it increases the fiber, and then it avoids bloating and helps with ease with digestion.
So with the the link to diabetes and sugar and the rest, what about carbohydrates? Because the little signs I remember, carbohydrates tend to glucose, all of that. So what about carbohydrates in our diet?
Yes. So with PCOS, you need to reduce your carbs.
Okay.
Yeah, so more of high protein, especially lean meat.
Okay.
You don't go for red meat, you go for lean meat, more of white meat, which is very important, and then more of vegetables.
Okay.
So what usually we advise that before eating, you drink water to feel full, and then you start with the vegetables and then the meat before, or the protein or fish preferably, salmon or grilled fish. and then you go before you start. So the last thing you would eat is the carbohydrates.
Okay.
Then you would feel full, so you wouldn't have to finish everything. Yeah.
So don't go and consume one full kinky. I'm talking to somebody. So what about exercise? Because even with exercise, there are times where exercise can become stressful.
Yeah.
How does somebody with PCOS manage maybe going to the gym, these workouts?
Yeah. So this gym workout thing, it's cool, but it's not realistic, especially when you have a job that you need to wake up very early, come and go to work and all that with traffic and all that. So make sure you are very active during the day. Take short breaks from your desk, walk around, visit your friends, have a chat. Use the staircase instead of the lift. Buy your food yourself. You don't need to send someone around. We do that a lot in the office. Just take a walk around and then feel like you are sweating. All these things help reduce the level of sugar and then the level of fat in the blood, and then it helps with weight loss.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you could also go for hiking or like maybe just with a group, you could decide to go for walks on weekends when you are free. Yeah.
So what about if you have a gym close to you? Are there recommended, or are there workouts that are not recommended for PCOS patients?
No, you could PCOS. You could have a range of workouts.
Okay.
Any this thing, but I think where you work on is the stomach, because one of the symptoms of PCOS, the picture we showed earlier, it's more or less like
the weight gain.
Weight gain in that area.
Okay.
So we need to work on the stomach exercises, and then we would have to do the sit-ups and
Okay. Yeah. So with PCOS and infertility, there seems to be some fear that people with PCOS cannot have kids. How true is that, and how can that be navigated?
Yeah, so it's true. PCOS, you might not be able to have kids when it's not managed well.
Okay.
Because it's a very simple issue in the sense that when you just do the right thing and you ovulate, that's your miracle. So we've been having this breast screening we do for women. So we go around and examine their breasts. So I picked on one patient. There was milk in her breast, so her prolactins were high. We did a test. They confirmed her prolactin. And we put her on medication. We put her on Dostinex. And then we did a scan. It all showed the string-like. We realized she had PCOS, which was not diagnosed. And she's been married for 8 years. Okay, and she's getting to her late 30s. So what we did was that we started the management. We tried to lower the prolactin level, so the milk from coming, and then it lowered the prolactin. We told her to start being active, exercise, lose some. And believe you me, in the next 2 months she was pregnant.
Oh, that's beautiful.
She was pregnant, and so it's something that is just. That's with infertility. You could miss the window period for so many years, which is just something very minute you'd have to do, and just that little thing changes everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we may need a part 2. Please, I always feel pain and bloated around my abdomen each time I have sex with my husband. I even felt something moving around in my pelvis. What is the cause? I think someone had a similar issue. And
I think you should do a scan to rule out uterine fibroid when you feel movements in your abdomen and the pain as well. Because fibroid comes with severe pain and feeling of movement and bloated, like feeling bloated. PCOS, you won't feel movements in your abdomen. Just you feel bloated and an increase of weight of fat in the abdominal area.
Okay. Someone also says she feels pain and vomits during her menstruation. Is she liable to be a victim of PCOS?
Oh, those are symptoms of menstruation. Sometimes, symptoms of menstruation mimic symptoms of pregnancy because it's all hormonal, the estrogens and progesterones.
Okay.
With pregnancy, the progesterones are more, and with menses, the estrogens are more.
Okay.
So symptoms of vomiting, feeling, some even run, passing loose stools, running, mood swings, cramping are symptoms of menstruation, which is normal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no cause for alarm. But with symptoms that would drive your parents to take you to the hospital, where you need to be on painkillers, you'll be admitted. That is where we have to start screening for issues like PCOS and fibroid and other issues concerning women.
Okay. So our time has unfortunately run out. I wanted to ask if there's a way to get the ovules that have not come out to vanish, dissolve or something.
So surprisingly, so it goes.
Okay,
it goes away. It goes, yes. So you notice you do a scan and then they'll say you have a physiological cyst and then you have string-like pearls. And then if managed, one of the signs a doctor knows that your PCOS is doing well is when you do the scan and then they notice that the structures have reduced. So it can be managed.
Okay, yes. That's really great. But I think we may need a part 2 of this because our time has unfortunately run out. Thank you so much for this education. Do you have any last remarks to give to our viewers before we plan the part 2?
I think I'm very excited about this topic because it's something that's underdiagnosed.
Okay.
Especially with our culture where we don't often go to hospital for checkup for women, young women. But lots of them have PCOS and they don't know.
Okay.
So I would recommend that mothers and guardians start allowing your kids to come for checkup.
Okay.
Come for checkup. The gynae clinic, the woman clinic would have the pap smear. If they are virgins, we'll do the vaccine for them, and then we screen their womb, we screen the ovary, we check for all those things, we do the hormone test. So I just recommend that be proactive about your health and in that of your children concerning, because PCOS is diagnosed right from puberty. So once they start coming to the clinic, doctor picks it up and it's managed very well. And the chances of fertility is high.
All right. Thank you so much. And this was a very, very inspiring and educative conversation. I'm sure you also learned a thing or two. A big thank you to everyone that made this show a success. Thank you for your comments and your shout outs or everything that you sent to us here. Thank you so much. A big thank you to our management and our production team. A big, big thank you to our sponsors as well. Thank you so much for joining hands to make this show a success. Now, today the Cocoa Digest Morning Show ends here. We will be back with a part 2 very soon. It will be communicated when it is ready and we will talk more about this. We would even add the fibroid issues because I know a lot of women are very much interested in this. So, my producer says I should read some messages again. Okay. I'm wrapping up. Beautiful. Okay. So one says I had a blighted ovary. Okay. One says I had a blighted ovary and I was asked by my doctor to do a D&C. After all this, my period is not normal. It is small and dark. We will text you back and then give you. Hey. So we had my producers. Can PCOS affect a woman's chances of getting pregnant? Yes, if not managed properly. So then if you have PCOS, what are the medical problems you are at risk for? What parts of the body are affected by PCOS? That was in the earlier submissions. Is PCOS inherited in families? Yes. Does it run in families? Yes, it is. Good morning, Doc. My sister is not overweight. Can she still have PCOS? My doc says yes, she can. It's a hormonal issue. So high level of androgens is the main issue. Hi. How? Okay, so Yaira, I like your question. What is the best treatment for irregular periods? Does irregular periods affect a lady's chances of getting pregnant? I have other skin problems like boils on some parts of my body. Are these related to PCOS and what is the best treatment for them? Unfortunately, our time has run out. We will come back with a part 2. So please hold on to your questions. Even though I was asked to read them, we will have a part 2 of this discussion very soon so that we can answer all your questions. But for today, this is all we have for you. And as I've already signed out before my producers made me read. So do have a blessed weekend ahead.
Clog TV. Beyond the Policy.